Welcome to another episode of Adam's Everything EV, and I'm extremely excited, as I always am, when I have one of my favorite guests on, and Bill is back. Bill, how are you?
I'm doing well today, Adam. Thanks for inviting me back to talk.
Well, you and I are now two different perspectives when it comes to the Fisker Ocean. I am out, and you are in, and I'm sure we'll get to that today, but there's a whole bunch to talk about. Is there anything you want to kick it off with, or you want me to throw that at you?
I think just to kick it off, I'm comfortable where I'm at right now with the vehicle, with its performance, with its features. If things go down the toilet, I'm going to be uncomfortable. That's where I'm at right now.
I love it. I think it's an honest perspective, and I feel like a lot of people are feeling the same way you are. The just like you were the last time we spoke on the channel. I have a car. It's going to drive. It's probably get updated later this year, right?
Yeah.
You have had a pretty fortunate ownership experience so far, but you had a glitch recently. Can you get into that?
Sure. It actually happened maybe 2 weeks ago, and then it happened twice on Sunday, where the screen just sort of like squiggled and just sort of like remapped itself. It did it really fast, so it caught my eye. It did it again. And then on the second time around, it just like the whole thing was just like someone had one of those tile puzzles, and they had messed everything up with mapping on the screen. So I thought maybe getting its attention by switching tracks. Someone on Facebook said maybe it was the music I was playing on Spotify at the time. I hope that wasn't it. But and then I tapped it with my hand, tapped the screen, thinking maybe it's something to do with rotation, because the screen does go blank and has to sort of remap, I guess, when it rotates. And it hasn't done it since Sunday, and we're now at Tuesday. So
okay, well that's good. I think I got it from a commenter. They said that the hardest problems to deal with cars and technology is intermittent problems, because they become almost impossible to solve. So I think that may be what you're dealing with there. You did a favor for me this week, and that was to just, out of pure generosity, and I can't thank you enough, throw your VIN into Carvana and just see what came up. Talk about that.
yeah, so actually I had done it out of my own curiosity a couple of weeks ago, but I hadn't like screenshot the process or remembered the results even. But it was pretty quickly they came back, whoa, we need to look at things further. So you need to do what's called a manual evaluation. And then it was so they gave me a number to text, and then the next day someone texted me back and said, I'm here to do your manual evaluation. So they had me send the Monroney sticker because it had all the details on it. And shortly they came back with, sorry, I sent it to you. I can't remember exact words, but sorry, we can't do anything for you.
So no dice probably for anyone trying to sell to Carvana as far as the Ocean goes. That's a big disappointment, because they're kind of a leader in value as far as price. You know, they give really good numbers on resale. So, but I really appreciate you doing that. Speaking of the Ocean, and obviously I just got rid of mine. A lot of my viewers are asking, what was that process like? Can I do it? Are you going to keep yours, and why?
I think I'm going to keep it because it's still producing value. And I know if I make the hard decision, like I did with the stock, to sell it, I'm going to freeze the value in time.
Sure.
At that point, I thought selling the stock at 2 or 4 cents a share when I did it, yeah, I'm going to get $32. But my CPA said at least you'll get $32. But on the other, that's stock. That's interest in a company. This is an actual vehicle that has some really nice features that even before all this mess with prices dropping, I felt I was in a pretty good place with its value for what I paid, especially with the promised features coming.
Right.
So now it's like it's weakening that position a little bit because those promised features are really in doubt. But what I have right now, it's still a nice car, first time EV owner. So maybe I'm just kind of like swimming in those vapors.
You're absolutely right. A lot of people are underwater on these, and you can let us know what your position is if you feel like it. But I know a lot of people are underwater on these, and the only option for them is really just to cross the fingers and drive. What would you recommend to somebody in your position who says, hey, maybe it's a daily driver and they have a long commute? How do you protect this investment?
Oh, I'm really worried, like getting a cracked windshield, getting banged up, something like that, and then just either not being able to use it or riding around with something with a major defect in it when I paid so much such a short time ago. Um, I guess I would just be really careful. And the other thing is like maybe it's our pattern of driving. Like we have a 2015 Subaru Outback we got nearly new off a dealer's lot, have had no major issues, some suspension things after like 10, 12 years, 10 years. But otherwise, we haven't had bad luck. And I'm hoping that continued good luck happens with this car. Like we drive it lightly. We haven't, banged it up. So maybe in my situation, it's gonna it's gonna be okay. And I guess that's what I'm hoping for.
That's a really good perspective. In fact, I made that recommendation today in the video I released this morning. This is Tuesday morning. That if you have another car, maybe switch some of your driving volume to that and then just drive the Ocean minimally. I mean, I don't know what else to do there. I recently did a vibe check. There were 5 options. I'm done. I feel cheated. I love the Ocean, pure and simple. The uncertainty is palpable. Mad, I'm simply mad. And the crazy outcome is why I'm here. It's all about the journey. Which one of those categories, if any or all, do you put yourself in?
I think it was that middle third one. What was that again?
The uncertainty is palpable.
Yes, yes.
If somebody asked me to guess, I would have guessed that for you too, Bill, because you're a detail guy, and right now those details just aren't out there. And so I totally agree with that. I think I'm in the all of the above category for sure. That's why I put all those options in there. I've felt all those things at one point or another for the Ocean. Where do you stand with Fisker as a company? Just off the top of your head, somebody comes to you, they look at your car, they're like, what's up with this company? What do you say?
Well, I actually had some visitors this weekend showing them my house, and a guy came by in a Tesla, and he said, "Oh, Fisker Ocean, never seen one up close." I said, "Yeah." I said, "What do you think of it?" I said, "It's a really nice car. Software is a little underdeveloped, underbaked, and the company's a mess."
Okay. I think that's a super succinct, extremely accurate depiction of the company right now. What do we do as owners? Is there anything like, if that guy says, "Hey, I want to get one," what do you tell him?
Do your research, check out Adam's videos, some other videos. It's, come back at me with some other questions before you pull the trigger. If ongoing support's not an issue for you and you're willing to roll the dice and get, except for the ongoing support, well, that includes parts and repairs.
Sure.
It's a really good value right now. But, it's the support isn't there. So I wouldn't buy a second one for sure.
Okay. Just in that same vein, it's 2025. You still have your Ocean, and Carvana now gives you a value. What is that number? What do you think? Where do you think the Ocean lands at next year as far as resale?
Sorry, we couldn't help you.
Still, okay.
Yeah.
For me, I actually have a concrete answer kind of for this, and whatever the resale wholesale value of the battery is, I think that's going to be, 2,000 above whatever that is. So if somebody could find out what 115 kilowatt hour NMC battery pack is worth, plus 2,000 for, wheels and tires or whatever, I think that might be where it lands, but
maybe somebody would start a business just to scrap it up, because I think you would need to have process and technique to do it cleanly and make it reusable. It's very interesting. Quick anecdote. We sell tools and test instruments in my business. There was one product that was being deprecated, just like they were no longer going to make them, and we had 4 of them in inventory, and we waited too long to sell them, and they're out of calibration. And we can't even give them like a trade school or anything like that. I contacted the manufacturer today, who's my friend that works there, and I said, "John, we don't expect any money, but can we send these to you to keep them out of a landfill so you could tear them apart for spare parts?" And he says, "Bring them on. I'll send you a label." So that might be just an odd similarity to what might happen.
I love it. At the end of the day, there are good parts in the Ocean, but that support, like you mentioned, is just paramount, really. Let's talk about Indianapolis. They've had some posts. In fact, you shared a couple with me. Guys, if you like this channel, do something to help Bill out. Go check out his podcast. I'll leave all the links below because Bill provides me with a lot of information from the community that I don't necessarily see. One of those was you found some information about Indianapolis and service. How do you think that's going, and how do you think it's going to go?
I think they're being pretty straightforward with it. And I can't actually recall what the detail was there, but I do remember they said that the owner of the place was a really nice guy and he was going to try to take care of people to the best of his ability. That's the vibe I have from Indianapolis.
Yeah, I feel the same way about it. You can only do what you can do. If you can replace a vent, get in there and find it. I know people are finding vent parts from each other, and there's all kinds of, barter system going on with that right now just to make sure that these or especially early Ocean One vents are fixed. So yeah, I mean, and they were the most straightforward with me when I called all the service centers. They were the only ones that told me straight up, we're doing service for the foreseeable future. It was the only pure yes. All the other ones were, we're working on it. We're trying to get there. I guess they have the tools, the know-how, the expertise, and obviously the staff to handle that. So that's really good news. Indianapolis is how far away from you?
Oh, shoot. I think I looked it up. 6 hours, maybe.
Okay. So it's probably doable.
Like 6 hours, 7 hours for you?
Yeah, we're both on like a 6-7 hour. So, I mean, if it still runs and drives and you can get it there.
Yeah.
I think that's worth it. I drive that far to buy a car. So I don't see why I wouldn't drive that far to fix my current one. So, I just wanted your take on that because it's an interesting thing because for some people, I feel like they really want service and, that drive may start to get more and more enticing. What are the Fisker Kings of the world going to do right now? If you're him, what are you doing? What's Joe doing right now?
I think he's collecting information and just he's being there. I mean, he's come sort of forward to connect with you, to get engaged with the community. He's on some Facebook groups. So I think he's, I don't know his business plan, but it sounds like, again, he's, going to do what he's able to do. Didn't he buy? He bought one.
He's got one. He sent me a picture. Yeah.
Yeah. That was to basically dissect, to learn how it operates, how it's put together. Yeah.
So I think that anybody in the EV repair business, which I think probably is one of the biggest issues with EVs in general in the United States, is the repair market is kind of like total first, fix second. I think that, those people are just in the process of getting ready to make a move if necessary. And I know Joe is, for lack of a better term, very plugged in, if you will.
Yeah.
Future of the company, you have any speculation? I mentioned voluntary dissolution in a recent video. Are you familiar with that term, and do you think that's possible?
I did see that video, or at least part of it. I think it dropped earlier today on Tuesday. It's really hard to say because you really don't know what's going on, or no one knows what's going on behind the closed doors, except if you're the person behind those closed doors. I think that it's reasonable, but anything could happen. And I'm really not gonna. I'm interested. I'm curious to see the reports, to read the speculation, but I don't get too deep into it because it's not the real world. Unless some kind of white knight pulls along, then that intersects with my real world. But right now, it's just out there.
True. I totally agree. That's why I prefaced my speculation there with a speculation zone disclaimer. So I totally agree. As far as the ocean and the legal realm, I know a lot of people are really upset about what's happened. Is there a legal thing here? Is this a lemon? What do you think?
I think this was only, I didn't really dive into too deeply, but it seems like a lemon is not appropriate for this situation. I don't think a class action is. Again, these are totally my opinions without a lot of in-depth research and no prior experience in this area. I did, however, I didn't say this publicly yet until now, I did file a complaint with my state attorney general. I did that when I did not have my title, and I wasn't sure whether they had paid the sales tax. So I had paid the sales tax. I wanted to make sure I had it on record that I sent the sales tax in back in October, and if the state hadn't received it, don't come after me. It's Fisker's fault. So when that did resolve, and I did write them back, and I said, you can remove item 1 from my complaint. The rest of the items of my complaint were the promised features and the promised upgrades for Ocean One owners. So I enumerated all those in the complaint just recently. I think it was last week. The person from attorney's office said, "This is outside of our jurisdiction. We're sending it to California."
Okay. Well, valid complaints, and obviously with the title thing, you totally have a legal claim there until you would have gotten the title. I got my title, actually, I opened it 15 minutes ago. Well, I got the lien notice today from Chase. Whenever that payment goes through from the dealership, we can go there. And in fact, let's go to the dealership. I just sent you pictures of my Honda Prologue, which I'm revealing today. What are your initial thoughts? I sent you some pictures of the Honda Prologue.
It's a pretty car. You stuck with your theme of vanilla.
Yeah, it's all they ever have.
Yeah. I would like to dig into that more because my thought is that Honda's going to make a really nice EV at this point. So I need to ask you, what do you think?
Well, it's a Blazer EV, first of all, inside and out, but it has Honda styling. So that's a double win for me. GM is the only other EV manufacturer with close to as much experience making EVs as Tesla. Maybe Nissan as well, but they really nailed a lot of the things that are hard to get right, like one-pedal driving and charge scheduling and preconditioning. Things that are absolute must-haves if you're really wanting to be competitive in the EV space, and they nailed all those. Styling and taste and things, obviously, everybody's going to have a different opinion, but I'm a big fan of it. I'm a Honda guy. I've owned like 9 other Hondas. So I know I saw a Honda in your driveway when I came and drove your Ocean. I don't remember if that was your son's or your wife's or somebody's.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you probably have at least an angle on Honda a little bit, so I don't feel anxiety about it. It's brand new, and I don't know who can service it. My local dealership can't. That's a whole nother video. Tune in for that. But yeah, they don't have a trained guy yet. They don't go till June to get trained. But yeah, and that's how new it is. I mean, obviously, I make content about EVs, and I want to keep it fresh. So I thought this was a good option. And and my mom gave me the green light. She said, in 6 months, if you don't like it, go get the next new one and talk about it instead.
Okay.
And in that vein, should I be done making Fisker content? Am I still do I still have a badge in the community, or because I got out, is that my exit strategy? Do you think that there's still value there?
I'm still searching for the YouTube rule book. It says you can't do it. And I saw that comment on one of the videos. You should just stop now. I think as long as you have interest in creating the content, you've got a lot of experience to reflect on, and you're going to have past perspectives and you're going to have new perspectives. You do whatever you want to do. That's the beauty of YouTube, and trolls be damned.
Well, you said it to me yourself. The content is for me. If other people want to watch, that's great, right?
Yep.
Those are your words. So you can thank Bill in the comments for that extremely powerful insight. Biggest plus of the Ocean, biggest minus, just really quick. Someone says, what's the best and worst thing about it? What are they?
Best thing, I think, is for me, again, EV newbie, all-wheel drive, the power and the acceleration, the handling, just the overall ride, you want to call it, the comfort of the ride. I'm still just amazed. Now I can do, we had some 80-degree days, so I did some California mode, popped them all open, not a lot of wind rushing noise. Somehow they engineered that out so it doesn't really bother you at 40 to 60 miles an hour. And then when you close the windows up, the outside noise just gone. Really quiet interior, very comfortable ride. So the ride is what's really great.
And then the minus.
The minus, I think, is I don't think I should be putting up with charge port door open errors. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it just sort of takes away from it's a completed vehicle. Sort of the lag, some of the lagginess you get having to sit down, buckle up, then press the brake pedal to get started, to avoid all those startup errors. That's just, I wish they didn't do that. But so that's not the worst thing. I guess the worst thing is I'll have to live with those problems forever. Is the way I feel right now.
I think that Fisker has a lot of vibe winners and a lot of vibe killers. And depending on each drive, you may experience one or the other. So there's some excitement there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I totally agree with both of those. I have had both of those feelings for sure. You're driving down the interstate 70 miles an hour, charge port door open. It's a small panic attack, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
did I again?
Right. One time I actually did. One time I got the notification and I actually had done it, and that just made it even worse, I think. Somebody was telling me pluses and minuses of the Ocean, and I responded to their comment. It's like if Michelangelo personally painted me a self-portrait, brought it to my house, hung it on my wall, and punched me in the face on the way out. So I can always appreciate the painting. It's always going to be on the wall, but every time I look at the painting, I'll never forget how he broke my nose. I feel like, that's it in a nutshell. Bill, I just wanted to get you on here because
a sculptor's hands are strong. I said a sculptor's hands are very strong. So
that's right. One punch. It's all it would take. Right. Yeah. But I can't thank you enough for being on here. People really appreciate your angle, your insights. If you're a title holder, do you wait or do you change right now? Is there, if I'm a title holder and I just go out and get rid of this car, is my decision justified? Was that a good move?
Oh, I mean, for you?
For anybody, let's just say in your position, you're in the same position, but you have a different opinion. I want to get out. Is that, how do you react to that?
You got to do what you need to do. I mean, if there's really too much anxiety, I guess I lived a life where I can deal with anxiety. It'll pop up, but I can also squelch it down and just look at the other beauty and benefit of life. And the car isn't the central point of my life.
The hardest part about that is a lot of people got this car because they wanted it to be. And then now you're kind of having to bat it off as nope, you know what? It's just four wheels and a battery, A to B. I hate to tell somebody to stop trying to have an emotional connection with their Ocean, but I do feel like that will increase anxiety in the event that they do. Anything else you want to add? Like I said, I wanted to have you on the channel. A lot's going on. I'm, kind of changing a little bit of what I'm doing. I'm still reporting on Fisker. I did it for 4 years without a car. I can continue to do it, I think. But yeah, I just wanted to say, did I make a mistake? That's my final question, I guess, to you. Did I make a mistake getting out?
No. I think you had to follow what you needed to do. And again, not getting personal, but maybe it was your loan. Because you did talk about that in one of the videos, selling the Tesla to get out of the underwater situation so you could get back whole again. So you had to do what you needed to do.
Well, you're a detail guy and I'm a finance guy, and negative equity, it's like you make cereal, but you won't eat it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was my feeling. I think the car started as an emotional vehicle. It's continuing to prove that it is. And those emotions are just going haywire depending on the individual. And
different emotions. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Well, Bill, like I said, I sincerely appreciate it every time you visit on the channel. Final thoughts about Fisker, the company.
They came up with a design that could really rock. And it is for some people. It still is for me, not fully delivered. I think there's something there to be had.
There are some extremely interesting tariffs going on with Chinese vehicles. So that interest, it could be nothing but to Fisker's advantage since they've already done some of those hurdles. So definitely interesting to see. Bill, thank you so much. I'll put all your links in the description below, and it's always a pleasure to have you on the channel. I am an out and you are an in, and both are okay.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks again, Adam.
Thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next time.
Hey, smash the like button.
Thank you.